Welcome to News Mongolia, where we bring you the latest stories and updates from across the nation and beyond. I am Batsirin Namshir. On News Mongolia today, President of Mongolia welcomed President of the Republic of Uzbekistan. Mongolia and Uzbekistan to develop tourism cooperation. Mongolia and France expand aerial rescue capabilities through a joint training initiative. For the news, stay tuned. On June 24, 2025, President of Mongolia, Ukhnagin Khurelsukh, and First Lady Luvsan Dorjin Bolortsitsig officially welcomed President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, and First Lady Ziorat Mirziyoyeva at Sukhbatar Square in Ulaanbaatar. The visit marked the first ever high-level state visit by an Uzbek head of state since the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries on January 25, 1992. The welcoming ceremony featured a report by the commander of the State Honor Guard, followed by the national anthems of both nations. The two presidents paid tribute to the state ceremonial white military banner, after which President Mirziyoyev reviewed the Honor Guard. The heads of state then greeted the Mongolian and Uzbek delegations, ambassadors, and representatives of international organizations in Mongolia. Following the ceremony, the two presidents paid tribute to the statue of the great Emperor Genghis Khan, and President Mirziyoyev signed the Book of Honored Guests at the State Palace. The Uzbek delegation had arrived in Ulaanbaatar earlier and was welcomed at Boyuntuha International Airport by Mongolia's Foreign Minister Batsitsig Batmung, Ambassador of Mongolia to Uzbekistan Batbatar Dadenghu, Uzbekistan's non-resident ambassador to Mongolia Farhod Arziev, and other officials. The Embassy of Mongolia in Tashkent officially commenced operations on April 2024. Ambassador Batbatar Dadenghu presented his letter of credence on September 20, 2024, while Ambassador Farhod Arziev presented his credentials as Uzbekistan's non-resident ambassador to Mongolia on November 16, 2023. Uzbekistan remains accredited to Mongolia through its embassy in Beijing. This landmark visit reflected a shared commitment to deepening cooperation and fostering long-term partnership between Mongolia and Uzbekistan. At the invitation of President of Mongolia, Ukhnagin Khurelsukh, President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, paid a state visit to Mongolia on June 24th and 25th. As part of the visit, the Pearl of the Silk Road Tourism Forum was held on June 23rd in Ulaanbaatar. The event brought together over 150 representatives from the tourism sectors of both countries to strengthen cooperation, promote Silk Road and special interest tours, and boost tourist numbers.
The forum highlighted the shared historical legacy of the Silk Road. Under the Mongol Empire, cities like Samarkand, Bukhara, and Tashkent thrived as cultural and artistic hubs in the 13th century. Building on this heritage and diplomatic ties established in 1992, Mongolia and Uzbekistan plan to elevate their cooperation in the tourism sector.
We are planning to launch direct flights to Tashkent, the capital of Uzbekistan, starting in September 2025. We will also implement major projects and programs that connect the Central Asian market with East Asia through Ulaanbaatar. This will provide Mongolian passengers with the opportunity to travel to Eastern Europe, the US, and Central Asian market via Tashkent for tourism or business purposes.
During the forum, both sides agreed to collaborate on participating in the Silk Road Tourism International Fair in Tashkent, organizing familiarization tours for tour operators, and sharing best practices in tourism development.
Our country's president considers the tourism sector a strategically significant and vital part of the economy. Therefore, major policy initiatives are being implemented in this field. It's important to highlight that this forum marks the historic beginning of cooperation between the two countries. This soon-to-be-launched direct flights and strengthened air transport ties are seen as highly significant developments.
Officials also discussed the legal framework for air connectivity established in 2023 and the possibility of launching direct flights. Both parties committed to developing joint tour packages, improving the investment environment, and supporting private sector engagement in tourism.
Mongolia's first aerial search and rescue unit, established under a Mongolian-French cooperation agreement, has already saved 212 lives. As part of the project's second phase, a 3-day training is underway to strengthen rescue capacity, equip professionals with international best practices, and improve coordination across sectors, reaffirming Mongolia's commitment to modern, disaster-resilient infrastructure.
As a result of a financial cooperation agreement signed between the governments of Mongolia and France 4 years ago, Mongolia's National Emergency Management Agency established its first aerial search and rescue unit, which has already saved the lives of 212 citizens. The second phase of the project is now underway, continuing with the delivery of helicopters and capacity-building efforts for the unit. A 3-day training course is being held to enhance the skills of pilots, engineers, technical personnel, and rescue staff. The training not only boosts the country's capacity for aerial emergency response, but also strengthens inter-agency coordination and allows participants to gain insights from international best practices, enabling faster and more effective disaster response operations.
Previously, NEMA did not have a dedicated aerial search and rescue unit. Through this project, we now have our first specialized team. Beyond developing our own medical staff, there is also a pressing need to strengthen the capacities of doctors from other institutions.
I worked as an emergency doctor in France for 25 years, specializing in air rescue operations. This is my 3rd year collaborating with Mongolia's 111th Emergency Unit. I am proud to see our shared vision come to life through this training, and we are committed to teaching Mongolian doctors everything we know.
NEMA currently has 3 helicopters, but we aim to increase this number and ensure that every region has at least one. We also need more advanced helicopters capable of operating in all weather conditions. We are continuously training pilots, engineers, technical staff, and other essential specialists with our French partners.
Over 100 professionals are participating in this training, including representatives from the Ministry of Health, major national hospitals, the Air Force Command of the Armed Forces, the General Authority for Border Protection, NEMA units, and the private sector. During the event, the government of Mongolia reaffirmed its commitment to developing disaster-resilient infrastructure and implementing modern, technology-driven search and rescue operations nationwide.
You're watching News Mongolia. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. The United Nations Security Council held its biannual briefing on the implementation of Resolution 2231, which backs the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action concerning Iran's nuclear program.
With regards to recent
Iran's ambassador described U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities as reckless actions that violate the country's sovereignty. According to Iran, such attacks have also eroded the authority and purpose of Resolution 2231.
With regards to recent developments in the region, I would like to emphasize the following points. First, condemnation of violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of member states, and the threat or use of force to settle disputes. Second, clear rejection of attacks on IAEA safeguarded nuclear facilities, which violate Security Council and IAEA resolutions as well as international humanitarian law. Third, we request the Secretary General to report on the implications of these developments on the implementation of Resolution 2231, particularly those arising from military strikes against nuclear facilities. And we also request the Director General IAEA to share his assessment from legal, technical, safety, security, and safeguards points of view.
As we know, Iran's nuclear program has been far beyond any credible civilian justification, including an enriched uranium stockpile 40 times the limit set by the JCPOA. It is urgent that the IAEA have full access, especially on Iran's enriched uranium stockpile. We have been clear that Iran cannot develop or acquire a nuclear weapon. The UK, alongside our E3 partners, stands ready to support efforts towards a negotiated solution. We will use all diplomatic levers at our disposal to support a negotiated outcome and ensure Iran does not develop a nuclear weapon.
Take note the statement. It is profoundly troubling that even after a decade of Resolution 2231, Iran's fully monitored, peaceful nuclear program has been repeatedly targeted by Israel and the United States. These illegal actions set a dangerous precedent, undermine the non-proliferation regime, and damage the credibility of the Security Council. Resolution 2231 was intended to promote peaceful solution and strengthen the Council's role in preventing unnecessary crises. However, reckless attacks on Iran's peaceful nuclear facilities by Israel and the US has gravely weakened this role. It is disappointing that the Council failed to condemn these illegal attacks, despite a strong request by Resolution 487, which prohibits such illegal acts.
Today, the IAEA is completely blind. As of May 2025, Iran's enriched uranium stockpile stands at over 9,000 kilograms. This includes more than 400 kilograms enriched to 60%. The IAEA has confirmed it can no longer verify the extent of Iran's program. For years, the international community spoke of Resolution 2231 and the JCPOA as a framework for peace. But for Iran, it was a framework for deception. While the diplomats and politicians talked, Iran built.
Israeli ambassador pointed to Iran's uranium enrichment levels reaching 60% as a clear breach of the 2015 nuclear agreement. He highlighted concerns that the International Atomic Energy Agency no longer has full access to verify Iran's nuclear activities. The meeting took place amid a fragile ceasefire between Iran and Israel that began Tuesday.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Goodbye.